G'day legends, Blake here with another video, and regular viewers of the channel will know that quite a while ago now, I picked up this huge coffee cup aquarium and planted it out with some crypts. As you can see, it's growing in quite nicely, so I thought, what better occasion than to finish off this scape than to place another order with Temu. So I've got another big orange package. We'll rip this open and then finish off this scape, and I think it should be a fun little video. Let's jump straight into it. So if you are a regular viewer to the channel, you'll know that I've ordered from Temu a bunch of times. It's pretty affordable, and you know, there's a lot of cool stuff on there. So today is no different, and I thought, you know, it's kind of fitting because originally the coffee cup aquarium did come from Temu anyway, so why not finish it off with other products from the same site. So yeah, as well as that, I was pretty interested because I saw that they have driftwood and stuff in their natural products. So I figured I'd be the guinea pig for you guys today, and we can see what sort of size you're likely to get and all sorts of cool stuff. Now, as with my other orders, before we get right into all the products that I've got here today, I was pretty impressed with how quickly things turned up. You know, even though originally the stuff is all from China, they have warehouses and depots all around the world. So a lot of times this stuff even turns up quicker than stuff that I've ordered domestically. Okay, so the first product actually has nothing to do with the coffee cup scape. Actually, I've just been on the lookout for a bit of a stainless steel sort of cup to keep refreshed. So I wanted something that would fit in my cup holder in the car. So yeah, they have more than aquarium stuff over at Temu. They've also got this sort of stainless steel tumbler as well. So yeah, if any of you wanted to know, I'm keeping hydrated when I'm not making videos. Okay, so the next one, let's see what we've got here. This one might be the driftwood. I was really curious when I saw there was going to be natural driftwood on Temu and how it would compete with local fish stores and stuff like that. Of course, I do advocate for supporting local, but you know, I was happy to be a bit of a guinea pig with this sort of stuff. You know, especially a lot of times if you order driftwood online, it can look like a huge piece, but actually it turns up like a tiny little twig. So let's find out about this one today. Actually quite a nice little piece. Like, it's got a fair bit of heft to it. You know, a bristlenose or whatever would take quite a while to get through this. It's quite solid as well. And yeah, it's definitely a real piece of wood. So I like it. It looks nice and natural. And this can definitely be used in some aquariums. Might be weird to smell it, but yeah, doesn't have a weird smell or anything like that. Doesn't smell like chemicals. So yeah, we'll definitely use this in our little coffee cup, I think, today. I just quickly looked it up because I do like to tell you the prices of things. This guy here is 27 Australian dollars, which, you know, I think is pretty much in line with what you would be able to pick up in person. But to have an online ability to order this for $27 Australian is pretty good, I think. And the old tumbler is 22 Australian dollars. So pretty good. It's definitely got some quality to it. Comes with a little straw and a lid and all sorts of stuff. But I'll let you know the prices as we go through. As well as that, I think regularly Temu, if you're the first order, they'll give you 50% off. If you download the app, you get $100 for free. There's all sorts of deals. I'll drop it in the description because that will be more specific. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Another little bag. Everything comes individually bagged as well, which is nice. Oh, yeah, so I always need media bags, and I've got an idea for my shrimp tanks to put a media bag of 88 Amazonia. So I got here 4 kind of fine net media bags. They've got zippers at the top, which I think is quite a nice touch. And how much did I pay for these? $3.48, great deal. Actually, I got 5 apparently. 5 media bags, $3.48, good little size, and I'll be able to put some 88 Amazonia or other substrate in there, which will really help my shrimp to get a nice low pH going in their tanks. So yeah, heaps of uses for media bags. Like if you want to put some Indian almond leaves or whatever, and then you can just magnet this to the side of your tank so that it's not going everywhere. You could also put some crushed coral in this, put it in your guppy tank or whatever. Great little option. What else did I get here? Oh, this one I was curious about because, you know, obviously I 3D print stuff, and I do actually also 3D print my own sort of Pothos hanger and stuff like that. But I saw they actually even sell their own Pothos hanger or plant hanger for the back of your aquarium. So I wanted to pick it up. This guy is $7.50 Australian. It has a little mechanism to slide in and out. Yeah, overall pretty good and quite strong. This is obviously going to be stronger than if you were going to 3D print it because of those layer lines and things like that. But you know, if you didn't want to go down that route, $7 to order this off Temu. Pretty happy with that. And you could easily stick whatever you want in there. Maybe down the track I'll do a video on all the houseplants you can use in your aquarium or whatever. Next one I wanted to get, this is just because I still do fill up my shrimp tanks by hand sometimes. So I wanted to get something with a lot of perforations here so that I could pour water into my shrimp tanks without the substrate going everywhere. So I think this is actually a rice bowl. It comes with a rice scoop and spoon. This guy was $2.58. So, you know, you could definitely use something like this. I'm keen to give that a go moving forward. Can't remember now. Oh, I think this was my aquascaping tools. You know, you can never have too many aquascaping tools, and I always like to give them a go. So we got the rainbow, very stylish sort of option here. Rainbow aquascaping tools. Let's see what they're like. Pretty good, pretty sturdy, nice build quality. We got the curved tweezers, the straight tweezers, the curved scissors. Let's see, will it cut this bag? Cuts it with ease. So nice, sharp, curved rainbow scissors. And we've got the soil flattener, whatever you call it, spatula. And these guys here were a grand total of $26.48. So I think pretty good value there. They definitely look like a showstopper, and you know, other fish enthusiasts, if they're visiting your fish room, will be impressed by these. So bit of a fancier set of aquascaping tools. We got here I was curious to start to track the barometric pressure and how that affects my fish room breeding and stuff like that. So I got here a color screen calendar, and this one also shows all sorts of stuff. So obviously date and time, but also the humidity, degrees Celsius and stuff like that. So it shows temperature, humidity, time, alarm and date. So I was interested to see if there's any clear indicators, like if the humidity is lower, will the fish be more likely to breed or whatever. And you know, that's probably more for a long-term experiment rather than anything else, but certainly can't hurt to have a bit of extra information. And this guy here was only $12.09. So yeah, pretty cruisy. It looks like it just takes some AAA batteries, which I'll have to go and get. But yeah, we'll check back in that one in the future. And last one here, we got a little light for our coffee cup tank. So an LED mini fish light. Wanted to obviously see how strong it was and if it was actually gonna do the job. This guy here was a grand total of $10.34. So that's what it looks like there. Couple of little LEDs. We got 3, 6, 9, 10 LEDs there, and it just plugs in with a USB. So I'll connect that onto the coffee cup in just a moment. Next bag here, we got a couple of things. We got a 4-pack of driftwood here, and this one costs 4-pack of driftwood for $18 Australian. So we'll see what we get here. Got a nice little sort of knuckly bit here. Malaysian driftwood or something by the looks of it. Another smaller little nugget here. Another twisted little fingery bit here. And last but not least, another little twisted bit here. So to be honest, I think that one, $18 is a lot for 4 little pieces, but like I say, you know, I'm happy to be the guinea pig for you guys there. So, you know, realistically, I don't think you're getting a lot of driftwood for $18 with that one in particular. Another one as well, sponge filter, $5.98, which is getting up there. I actually thought it was going to be a larger sponge filter, but in any case, we got the XY 180 here. And yeah, just a nice little sponge filter that we can attach to an air pump. Spoiler alert, there's an air pump in this order as well. So I think this will be probably a good size for our coffee cup. And as I say, we do have the USB air pump here for the coffee cup too. This guy was $13.47 Australian. You might have seen these before. I've had these USB air pumps before. Pretty good, to be honest. They can pump air down, you know, I've seen them down in the sort of a 2-foot tank and they're still pumping. Really great versatility. Comes with some airline and an air stone as well. Plugs in with USB. So great for traveling, great if you're gonna do a long day searching a bunch of fish stores or whatever. Great for moving house. $13.47. This one will be hooked up on the coffee cup. Next bag here, we got a couple of things. These are actually for the fish room in general. And what they are is a draft stopper. You slide them in under your door and they're just gonna stop any air gaps from happening. This one here goes on both sides, so it's great for internal doors. This one here goes on one side, so it's better for external doors. And these guys cost $3.48 and $4.38. So yeah, just for a couple of bucks, if it saves you that in energy, definitely well worth it. So I'm keen to get those. That was an improvement I wanted to make to the fish room. And it looks like that's everything that I got in this haul today. So why not start to assemble it and let's start to put this coffee cup together. But if you did want to check out Temu at all the links are down in the description or the pinned comment. Check it out below. And yeah, thanks again to Temu for sponsoring this video. Okay, so as we cast our attention back to the coffee cup tank, my first thought is that I've drastically overestimated the size of this aquarium. As you can see, the driftwood here is quite big and will definitely overpower the scape here. So I'm going to use this in another tank, and what we can do instead is sort of arrange the smaller pieces here into this tank. So I'm just deciding whether I want to actually remove the crypts and move them out to the edge, which I think I'll probably do. With a circular tank like this, there's like typically in a rectangle tank, I'd want to push everything to the back, but here I want to really kind of create a bit of interest in the center rather than anything else. So probably what I'm going to do is move out all the crypts to the outsider edges, which I'll do so with my new aquascaping gear here. So I'll just quickly pull out these crypts and move them to the edges, and that way we can have more room to play around with the center. Okay, so that was pretty easy. I'll just move this one out to here, and basically we're done here. Now I'll probably just start off with the largest piece here, and really what I want to do is create some sort of height. So I want to pay attention to the angles and the direction that everything is sort of wanting to go. So like with rocks and stuff in particular, you want to sort of have everything going up in one direction. For example, this little piece here probably shows it the best. You can see that everything is trending in this direction here from the sort of left to right, bottom to top of screen. So you want to sit that in a place where it's gonna do this exact same thing. Like that sort of, except you probably want it to be angled further up. To have it breach the water, I think is a good idea as well, because if we're constraining ourselves just to the confines of the actual coffee cup itself, well, we're pretty limited there. So what I might do is just pile this. I mean, obviously, you know, we've got like 4 pieces of wood here to deal with, so we're not going to create the Mona Lisa here, but I just want to get something that looks consistent and looks kind of accidental but on purpose, if that makes any sense. Something like that. Yeah, I think that looks okay. It's kind of triangular, central, and doesn't look like 4 individual pieces at all, so I'm pretty happy with that. However, I also, again, overestimated the size of this sponge filter. It's going to totally take up what little amount of water that we do have within this tank, which is only probably 2 liters or half a gallon of actual swimming space. So we're going to have very, very small critters in here. Most likely, you know, I'll just put snails in here or some shrimp potentially, but this is likely going to be a no filter setup. So yeah, that's, I guess, one thing that I ordered that we won't eventually be able to use, but I should be able to use this little Pothos holder here, and it should actually help me to keep some kind of terrestrial plant in place here. So I am happy that we can actually use that one. And the big test, of course, is the light. Now, I was worried a little bit that it was going to be really underpowered, but actually it's quite a nice little profile here. You can barely notice it at all. And if I put it by the handle, yeah, it's not overpowering. So I'm actually happy that it's probably a little bit smaller than I thought it potentially would be. And if we plug it in here, we'll see what sort of light we're going to get out of it. Always, things are going to look different when there's no water versus when there is. So do keep that in mind, but let's see. Plug it in. And I've got a little switch here to turn it on. Okay, so I'm not sure if that's coming through on camera, but it does appear very, very blue. It's like, kind of like hospital lights a little bit. So I'm not 100% confident that this will be great at growing plants, but yeah, there's definitely, of the 10 LEDs, it's probably not obvious on camera, but of the 10 LEDs, 3 of them are blue, 7 of them are white. So it's definitely at that sort of 8,000 Kelvin range. And yeah, it's a bit cooler of a white than I would typically like to use. And then just to finish everything off, I've got this little piece of Snow Queen Pothos, I think it's called, or Devil's Ivy, depending on where you are in the world. So I'm just gonna probably break it in half. Use my scissors and I'll cut it in half actually. And we'll just have, this piece can go around in that direction, and the other piece can go in the opposite direction. And that can sort of be our filter for the moment, something like that. Not sure if that comes across perfectly, but just a nice little piece of Pothos hanging out the top of the tank. If you've never set up an aquarium with no filter before, you absolutely do want to have some kind of terrestrial plant in there to act as that filter. It's not an exact science whatsoever, and I wouldn't recommend it to beginners or those that are faint of heart, because you might need to have backup plans in place. However, because terrestrial plants have access to that atmospheric CO2, they're able to export nutrients a lot faster than submerged plants or aquatic plants. So for that reason, if there are occasions where the tank, for example, is too small to actually have a filter in it, then I'm always going to have some sort of house plant or whatever, so that we can try and keep up with that nutrient export. But in any case, we're going to severely understock this tank as it is. So we're absolutely not going to throw in here, you know, a dozen baby Oscars or whatever. However, if you have set up a no filter tank before, you'll know that you get a lot of this surface scum in here. And overall, I just think it's a better idea to have an air stone in there. So what I'm going to do is set up our little USB air pump. Simple to do, you just connect the little air stone here, and I'm going to try and run it up the Pothos hanger here, because it should help us to keep it in place, I think. So what I'm going to do is just lift that up, put that down in there, and now of course all our Pothos has gone all over the place. So then you just connect that. If you're going to keep the air pump below the tank, you'll want to put a check valve in here, but I'm just going to hang it above the tank, which is going to be really easy to do because it's got a little carabiner on it here. Just plug this into the USB port here and we should be in business. There'll be plenty of air circulation for a tank like this. All you really want is something that's going to break up the surface a little bit. You don't want to be really rushing the whole tank around, creating a storm in a teacup or a tsunami in a coffee cup in this instance. So there you go, guys. It might be a little bit of a quick / underwhelming video. However, hopefully this shows you that, for a really good price, you can put together a pretty cool, unique little piece for your tabletop or desk or whatever, all from Temu for, a couple of bucks, really. So I'm pretty happy with how this came out, even though, probably a lot of my ideas didn't come to fruition in this, just because ordering online things are really tough to judge what size they turn up. But this one's pretty much ready to go. We'll fill it up with water, put a couple of shrimp in there or whatever, and we should have a nice little tabletop aquarium that will keep us entertained for hours. So hopefully you like this whole / quick setup video. If you did, it always helps me out to smash like, hit subscribe and all that fun stuff. And other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.